Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Advent 7 podcast. I'm your host, Andrew, and I am also joined by
Trey
and Spencer.
All right, and today we're going to talk about the second episode of SNAFU Season 3. Just came out a few hours ago, so we're going to give our thoughts. So, let's see, where should we start?
Obviously at the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously at the beginning.
Fine.
Where all stories start. The beginning. But yeah, the start of the episode, it starts where I thought we were going to when we left off at the end of the episode. We got to see the conversation with Yukino's sister, Haruno, that was kind of teased last episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I honestly was surprised that we jumped back to it so quickly in the second episode. I almost thought that we weren't going to get to see that at all. Like they were just going to recap it later, but I'm happy to see that we went back to it. And, I mean, Haruno is still intimidating. Every time that they go to talk with her, it's like a game of chess that they have to play. You know, even
Haruno's
when
still a troll.
Even when Haruno's drinking, even when she's drunk, she's still trolling. We'll get to
Totally not drunk, Andrew. Totally not drunk.
Oh my gosh. We will get to that. But anyway, so they meet up with Haruno. Yukino basically tells Haruno when they get into the apartment that she's decided on what she wants to do. I don't think Yukino's clearly said what she wants to do to us yet, to the audience, but
I don't think she's really said that she wants what she wants to do, but more that she's going to do something.
Yeah,
okay. She's going to take
real decisions.
Yeah, it's more of a declaration that I'm going to take the first step now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's at least declaring that she will be more independent moving forward. So she says this to Haruno, and Haruno's impressed. You know, actually doesn't expect this coming, and she seems either entertained or genuinely happy that Yukino is starting to be more independent. It's the part where Yukino mentions that she's going to literally travel back home and confront their mom about it and tell their mom what she wants to do. Haruno's like, oh, okay, good luck with that. Like
it really was just good luck with that. She's like, oh yeah, I see where this is going to go. But I'll go along with you. It's like, I'll put in a good word for you.
Mm-hmm. So when Yukino mentions their mom, you know, like the second that she mentions their mom, Haruno, like her reaction changes a little bit. She definitely seems more apprehensive, like she just doesn't want to talk about it. So that to me that makes me happy to see that even the Aizen of this series has some kind of kryptonite. You know, the second she is like the Aizen. She is like the big bad villain of this whole anime. I've said that to Trey before, because she always.
Last week, Haruno's the Vader, and the mom is Palpatine. Vader still fear Palpatine.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, we mentioned that last episode, I think. And so it makes me happy to see that there's something that even Haruno is scared of. But the little bit we saw of their mom last season, I mean, I just got major bitch vibes immediately. Like I already don't like their mom for, you know, like nobody would like their mom, but it just gives me chills whenever we see their mom on screen. And that episode last season where Yukino's mom even says to her, like, I'm sorry, this is my fault. I left you alone so you could do whatever you wanted, and now look what's happened. It's like, oh my God. How just self-centered and egotistical can you get? Like, clearly their mom is just a force to be reckoned with, so Yukino's going to have a hard time. And Haruno even warns Yukino that she's probably going to be gone for a while. Like, when she travels to go see their mom again, it's not going to be a overnight trip and back again. Like, their mom might not let Yukino come back for a while. That's also scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, this is it's like I'm currently watching Fruit Basket's the 2019 version, and I'm getting some similar vibes because a lot of the characters, they moved away from the main estate to get away from the source of their problems. And going back there is always a trap. Like anytime they have to go to the estate for any reason, it's always going to be like, get in and get out, otherwise you will be trapped for a long time. And it's always scary.
How very Japanese that the main villains are the parents.
Well, I mean, when you have a show where you barely see any parents to begin with.
I mean, who has parents in Japan, honestly?
I mean, look at Komachi and Hachiman. It's like, have you ever actually seen their parents? Have we ever actually seen their parents? I can't even remember now.
No,
I don't believe we have.
But apparently their mom lives
just
with
live alone.
them. Their mom does live with them, apparently. We just never see her.
She's just perpetually never there.
We only hear about their mom whenever Komachi asks Hikigaya for gifts. She's like, oh, make sure to get enough for mom, too. We need more oil blotting paper or whatever the hell.
Yeah, no, that's just a very anime thing where it's like the kids, they go to high school and everything, but they don't have any parents at home for whatever weird reason. Oh, they're overseas on a business trip, or they live here alone while the rest of the family lives in another city for whatever reason. The reasons are usually not specified. Yeah, it's like just a convenient story trope to get the parents out of the way for the most part, unless they're like absolutely needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, this is a series aimed at teenagers. At least I think it is. So, so I mean, it makes sense that the parents are around. I mean, I know it's called teen romantic comedy, but as a teenager, like if I was 16 watching the series, I wouldn't know what the hell was going on. I wouldn't get this at all. I'd probably be pretty bored, to be honest. But being much older now, I'm totally into drama, so this series is up my alley.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, their mom is probably going to show up again fairly soon. I'm worried for Yukino, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a stint later on this season where she's just not going to be present, or if they're going to pretty much do a time skip where Yukino leaves and then they're just going to cut to the part where she comes back.
I mean, they've already technically kind of done that already. Having like little mini time skips around like a couple weeks.
The series
like the
doesn't
whole
have a lot of filler in it.
Like after like the camping, like summer camp thing back in season 1, they're just like, and then we didn't see her for the rest of the summer, and then they jump forward to when they're back at school. So it's like it's compressed like that, so that wouldn't actually be a surprise if they did something like that. Yeah, but yeah,
they leave out the
going on from the conversation that they had, Yui offers to help Yukino, and they go off and do that stuff. And nice. Haruno says like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the convenience store."
The convenience
store. And Hachiman's gonna get going on his way for the night, and ambush. It's like, oh hi,
all right.
It's like, were you waiting here for me? How long have you been down here? The convenience store, huh? Yeah, okay.
He's like, she was down there long enough.
It's like it was all part of her evil plan. Wahaha.
Yep, this is her bankai, pretending to go to the convenience store.
But yeah, so they start walking around, and you just really get the sense of just like, oh yeah, I'll support her and whatnot, but I already know how this is going to play out. And it's like, this isn't going to go how she wants to, because, well, as you grow up, you just have to give up some things and just give up on dreams and stuff. It was like, oh, that's sounds familiar.
Advice. Like alcohol makes life smoother sometimes.
This sounds totally unbiased and like objective. Totally.
But no, she really lays it on that she on her own time really has a similar mindset to Hachiman. That they're actually very like similar in their pessimistic mindset. Like the phrase that she leaves off with him is like that you can't get drunk either. It's like they can't. He's like, he can't really be. What's the word I want to say here?
Corrupted, coerced.
No, it's like you can't really even pretend to be happy more or less, because she's always drinking because she wants to try and like feel something else than just like the pessimism that she has from just not giving a shit.
Yeah, like
At least that's what I took away from it.
She mentions how she always has this kind of calmness about her. You know, she tries to act like overly cheerful while drinking, but she also mentions that it's almost like she can see herself sometimes. So it gives me the impression that she has such a heightened awareness, not just of herself, but of everybody around her, that she can't let go of it. It's like a curse.
Yeah, she's like Hachiman, is that she's always kind of analyzing other people, but unlike Hachiman, she puts up a great big facade to get on people's good side, whereas Hachiman is, up until this point, has been fairly comfortable just being pessimistic in every case and not even trying to interact with people.
Yeah, he doesn't pretend.
Just so we're aware, what Haruno is doing is almost like a baseline sociopathic tendency. So there's a
yeah. No, she's a total sociopath. 100%.
It's like it's kind of scary, but it's also an interest. Their conversation as they're walking outside is actually kind of interesting because she pats herself on the back for acting like a big sister for every once in a while. Like, this is one of those moments like, oh yeah, I'm a big sister and I can do this.
It's like, what? Give me a break. You, a big sister? You've done nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, she hasn't, but in her mind, she has done something relatively sisterly in being willing to listen to her sister.
Yeah. Yep, and that's enough of an ego trip for her, I guess.
Yeah, and then she points out that Hachiman always acts like a big brother, because apparently she didn't know that he had a little sister. I guess it never really registered to her.
Or she just didn't give a shit up until this point. Wasn't relevant for her to talk about.
Unlike her, though, Hachiman actually has a decent relationship with his sister.
My God, watching the two of them walk together, talking about their sibling relationships, it was just such a funny contrast between the two. They were both clearly representing how they handle younger sibling relationships, and Hikigaya has done it so much better than she ever will. Like, he is the optimal older brother in a lot of ways, and she is the complete opposite of what an ideal older sibling should be like.
I'm not sure if optimal is the word, because at some points, really just Komachi just
that's true.
Kind of understand how Hachiman works, and it's just like, okay, yeah, no, this is just brother being weird. But it's like, whatever.
He's still so much better than she'll ever be at the job, and that's respectable, you know. And I think he has gotten better at being an older brother throughout the series compared to first season, where he definitely didn't show any interest in her life. But throughout the second and now up to the third season, they have a much closer relationship, to the point that in last episode, Komachi even bowed to him formally and said, "Thank you for everything you've done for me," which I'm so blown away that even happened. But I thought it was really cool. So, yeah, Haruno is just showing off all his psychopathic tendencies, whatever the word for it is.
Well, I like to pose a question, just a thought. It's like, so the setup for the flashback for this in the episode was Hachiman talking to Hayama, I think his name is?
Yes, yeah, Hayama. Yep.
Hayama, yeah. So it's like this. They're having the conversation about Hachiman thinking he's asking him about his little sister getting in, but he was actually apparently he obviously has been talking to Haruno, most likely, and is partially aware of the situation. So I wonder how he's going to play into this season, how he's going to play into this situation.
Yeah, I thought that Hayama and Hikigaya were definitely getting along better than they did by the beginning of the second season. They were more on speaking terms, even though Hikigaya pretty much tells him to piss off. He also says, "Thank you for asking me about my younger sister," which I mean, even though that's not what Hayama was talking about, that level of gratitude is probably not something Hikigaya would have said to him before. So
I think they're on better terms than what their talking points to each other actually led on. Like they seem like they're at least willing to tolerate each other and are willing to have a civil conversation.
Yeah, and you could argue it's because Hikigaya went through exactly what Hayama was going through in the second season. They've both endured similar situations of their relationships around them evolving and themselves learning to change over time and being more open-minded. Yeah. So that might be a level playing field. Hayama might even be a reliable ally in this season for Hikigaya. Who knows? He might be someone who shows up more, and I certainly hope so. I would like to see their relationship get better. I know Ebina definitely would like to see them get closer together, and I don't want that, but I would like to see these two be better friends. Every time she shows up, I remember, Trey, you're just like, get the fuck out! Go away! We don't want you here!
Like her fan fiction will not be written. I will not let this happen. She has not shown up yet, and I'm happy about it so far.
It's because she's busy writing.
As far as Hachiman and Ayama's conversation is concerned, it took me a second to realize it's like, oh, wait, no, they're talking about Yukino and the conversation from the prior night that they then immediately went on to show. But, yeah, no, it's like, why did you word it that way? Nobody talks like that.
Nobody.
Like, it just I had to make another file point in my mind of just like, yep, here's another point of where anime talks like anime and not real life. It's like, why would you word it that way? That doesn't make sense.
It's like, people don't talk this way, but we're going to talk like this so we can be vague.
Yeah. I've watched enough anime to understand what you're talking about, but nobody talks like this.
This show is also special in the way that all the teenage characters, they're so analytic. And the things they do and relationships they have, I never thought like this when I was 16, 17 years old. I did not delve that far down a rabbit hole with any of my relationships because I wasn't that self-aware at the time. I'm pretty sure most teenagers don't talk like these people do. And that's why it's like, yep, let's not forget we're watching anime.
Oh, no, I totally talk like this because I watched anime. This is how I learned how to converse. How does one converse? I don't know.
And that's why we invited you onto the podcast. So, but yeah, I was glad to see those guys get together. Also, one funny thing is that the second episode also started off with a shot of a vending machine. I don't know how many times we're going to see vending machines in this season, but if that's how they start every episode, I'm okay with that because Japanese vending machines are awesome and they have literally every drink you can think of. I want them to put in that Pocari Sweat ripoff at some point. We need Pogari Sweat just like we need McDonald's.
Yes, McDonald's, the most important of the franchises.
Was it McDonald's or McRonald's that was in?
It was McRonald's.
Okay, I take it back. Yeah. I want McRonald's.
No, McDonald's for life, man.
but McDonald's doesn't give you those Satan fries, served hot and ready.
Yeah, they don't have black pepper fries. You're right, but you got brand loyalty, man. Brand loyalty.
No, I'm just loyal to Devil's Part-Timer. That's a fantastic isekai for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Also, that first season came out the same year that season 1 of SNAFU did. So, fun fact. Okay, so
moving on.
What happened after story? That?
How can you forget that Iroha comes into the scene?
Oh my goodness, that's when the episode finally got good.
Well,
it's what it got.
Before that, you got super excited about Yui and Hachiman walking into the club together because you thought they were going to be alone for a bit.
Damn, I was really hoping that Yukino had already left for her trip with her mom and it was just going to be the two of them in the club for a while. I'm like, yes, development, relationships.
Oh, that's cute, Andrew. You think that they're going to end up together and not and Hachiman?
I get my hopes up.
That's cute.
Okay, you son of a bitch. We will talk about that soon enough. We will get there. Because that is another point that we need to make. That is something we will discuss about the end of the episode. But first, yes, I was hopeful that Yui and Hikigai were going to be together for a while. That wasn't true. Yukino just locked them out for a bit and got the key. I don't even understand why that part of the plot had to happen. That felt kind of superfluous.
It was weird.
But that happened. They get into the club room, and then my girl, Iroha, she shows up, and the music plays, everything's happy and cheerful again, and I love the fact that she is the president of the whole student council. Like, we had to fight through a lot in order for her to get that position and get used to it. But by the end of second season, she was carrying the title in stride. And now she is manipulating. She is utilizing this role to the best of her abilities. And it's fucking hilarious to watch. I love seeing her take money out of the school's budget just so she can buy a mini projector for herself, so that she can figure out how to plan a prom for the school. That right there, that's a fucking student council president if I ever saw one. She knows what she's doing. They picked the right person.
This is called corruption.
Yes, this is. It's like, please do not follow this model. Also, time for some millennial salt. I'm so upset because she said that newer computers don't have CD drives. And
I figured you'd be upset.
Like, I'm so...
I noticed that as well.
It's like, I recently had to get a new laptop. It's beautiful. I love it, but I don't have a CD drive on it, and it makes me sad sometimes.
You were lamenting while searching for a new laptop over the lack of DVD player options, and I was like, yeah, that hasn't been a thing anymore for a little while. It's unfortunate. You can buy like a separate player to connect with a USB, but it doesn't come all in one package.
It's not the same.
Yeah, you can really tell what era shows were made just by like what type of tech or phone or whatever is in their hands at any one time.
Dude, have they
like
moved
there are
on to
anime out there
smartphones?
that like their original seasons were
they've always
back when flip phones were still a thing.
Okay.
And then future seasons will have smartphones. Like, when did this transition happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it just kind of happened because first season, Yui definitely had a flip phone. I remember that.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's funny. You can tell this is a series that has seen 7 years of release.
Well, at the very least, with first season, Yui, she had a flip phone, but Hachiman, he had a smartphone.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and I mean, like, smartphones were already...
There was some overlap there. Because I've since last week, I've been going through and I've been doing the rewatch that I said I was going to be doing, and I'm like, no, 8 or 9 episodes into the first season now.
I think I saw you were at 8.
Yep, I saw that too on your Verve history. I was like, oh, hey, he's doing it. He's getting up there.
Yep.
Gonna have to work faster than that, but hey, at least he's doing it.
You gotta be quicker than that.
So, shoot, what were we talking about?
Iroha, projector, prom.
Yes. Oof. I love how I just knew right away. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, she's going to put on a prom. It's not a normal thing in Japan. Here we go.
I was under the impression, are proms normally just like an American thing, or is it a Western thing?
It's a Western thing. It's mostly American, but I think I think Europe does it too.
There's enough Western influence on Japanese culture, especially younger Japanese people, that it makes sense that at least Iroha would know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of caught me by surprise that she wanted to do that, but it was very much an Iroha fashion that she's like, I want to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to make it happen. And when she comes to the club asking for help and they provide her with all of these, well, but you don't have a lot of time. It's going to be expensive. You're going to have to convince a lot of people to do this. You know, you're probably better off not trying. And my girl, she just looks at them and says, oh, okay. Well, then I'll just do this by myself. And they're like, wait, what?
No. She said the student council will do it by themselves, which means she was still going to try and get other people to help her.
But she was just like, I don't need you guys to help.
I've got other people.
Yeah, she's like, I got other ways of making this happen. But if you want to help, you can. And nearly walks off. And I'm like, fuck. That is... Again, clearly she has had experience already being president, that she knows how to talk to people like this. And sure enough, like they not only were these three impressed, but they were willing to help after that. They realized that in spite of all these difficulties, Iroha was going to do it anyways because, as she said herself, now is the time. If I don't try to do this now, it's just going to continue to be harder down the line. I may as well try now when I'm motivated to do it.
There's something else going
there's
on
some
there. That it's just like
motive.
She's got some sort of strange ulterior motive going on because she got very defensive, just being like, "No, it has to be this year. Can't wait till next year."
No, it has to be this year.
Probably because
it has to be this year.
Like I'm guessing.
So I'm not entirely certain what her motivations for wanting to try and do it this year are, but Yukino's motivations are probably a little more clear. She basically sees this as an opportunity to do something big, and I'm assuming that it's going to be some sort of like chip that she can use in conversations with her mom saying, "Look, I did this big thing. It was going to be hard to do and I pulled it off," sort of situation. That's kind of what I think they're going to go for with that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm confused. I'm actually still trying to figure out. I know that Iroha is a first year. She's definitely a first year. But are the club members second or third years? Because they always talk about career planning during second year. But since it has to be this year, I'm trying to figure out why the prom is so important.
I thought that they were third years. I thought that was why career planning mattered so much at the moment. And, Hikigai's younger sister is going to be coming to the school like the following year. And I remember him telling Iroha in second season, make this a good school for my younger sister. So I kind of interpreted that as when Komachi shows up at the school, Hikigai is going to graduate. But yeah, let's just Google it. Let me just search it up right now while you guys are talking about it. So it should be pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah. Because it's very funny. It's like, she says Iroha says, "I'm doing this because I want to be prom queen." I'm like, my immediate reaction is, "No, you can't. You're a freshman. You can't do this." It's like, I knew that much, and I'm almost certain that she's doing this because it's for the upper class. She probably is doing this to have some basis so she can be the prom queen when she gets to her final year. But
I'm trying to think back to my own 2 proms back in high school. I don't think there was a prom king and queen. I remember having like homecoming king and queen.
There's normally a prom king and queen, but you went to a smaller school.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm surprised that you didn't
by
have
most
one.
people's standards, I probably went to a tiny school.
Well, your high school was merged with the middle and elementary schools all in like one building, basically.
Oh, yeah. Small town USA, yo.
So, it's like odds are whoever the homecoming king and queen were probably, normally they make it so they can't be both, but people probably would have still voted for them.
Okay, so it says here on the oragairu.fandom.com that Hikigaya and his other club members, they're part of Class 2F. So that has to mean that they're not going to be third years until the following year.
So it's February. It's like February, March right now in the show. So next year is going to be like in a month for them.
Yeah,
they'll be moving on to Class 3. So I'm trying to figure out when she's trying to put on this prom, because that's at the minimum it's the first arc of this show, if not the entire arc of the show of this season.
I don't think they'd be able to carry this plot for 10 episodes, so I imagine it's just an initial arc of like, I guess at most like 4 episodes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out why it's so important to get it done this year, because she could easily have waited. Well, I guess she doesn't know if she's going to be elected again next year.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe she wouldn't be.
But she probably doesn't, depending on how much she enjoys the job, because she didn't want to be elected in the first place.
But she likes having it now. We can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she at least knows how to take the title of president and twist it to her advantage and make her seem even better. It boosts her rep, boosts her ego a little bit. So I feel like they picked the right person for the job by accident.
I mean,
it took some pushing.
Because the former president was like, I think you could do a good job. The only problem was she didn't want the job. But now that she has it, she loves it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, man, it was just awesome getting to see her again. And I hope we get more Iroha in the next episode, too. But what struck me as interesting is that Yukino agrees to help Iroha, but she doesn't try to encourage Hikigaya or Yui to help her. She just says, like, I want to do this on my own. Personally, I thought doing things on your own was a bad idea after how last season went with Hikigaya trying to handle that situation on his own with the Christmas party. I thought that the reason why Yui and Yukino got mad at him, well, one of the reasons why is because he kept trying to do things alone when they wanted to work together as a team. And now she's like, well, now I want to do this alone because I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I guess this situation is a little bit different than last time, but it just caught me off guard. I was like, wait, I thought you guys were supposed to do everything together from now on. I guess not.
Yeah, that's probably the only issue with this whole thing was the conversation went from, well, either we're doing this as a club or not at all. And then she's like, no, I said I would do it, not as a president, but as myself. I want to help do this. And I'm like,
it's like, not this shit again.
It's like, huh.
Well, to be fair, she also did immediately say, it's like, I would be very happy if you guys did come along with me, but I'm not forcing the matter as a club activity. I'm doing this. She's doing this for herself in the same sense that she is trying to do things on her own, from her statement from the previous episode. So I don't really think it conflicts with the plot beats of season 2, simply because she says I'm going to do this regardless of what you guys are doing, not in spite of it.
Right. Yeah. Whereas last time, Hikigaya wasn't really doing it for himself to boost anything, and he was kind of doing it for other reasons.
It's like he took on the last job by himself because he wanted to make sure they had a better Christmas break without having to do stuff. I think
I felt like it was also partially to boost his own ego about the methods he normally used to solve problems, which put everything on him. Whereas this time, it's about Yukino believing in herself, showing to herself and to her friends that she can do stuff, whereas Hikigai's already proven that many times. He's gone overboard with it, whereas Yukino wants to prove she can do it for a change. So maybe that's the difference. I don't know. I can't tell whenever characters are going to get pissed off at each other or when they get along with each other. The subtext is so deep, and sometimes I feel like characters just are a little inconsistent, but who the hell am I to judge? The author knows what he's doing, I'm sure. I bet he totally didn't piece any of this together.
No. That's why we're here. We are here. We're both judging and also contemplating about what's going to happen.
We are here to judge, actually, so I'm totally going to judge.
We're here for the critical analysis. Yeah. It's like we gotta scrutinize this with a magnifying glass and be like, okay, what are you doing here? Are you piecing this together at the last second, or have you had this plan the entire time?
A little bit of both, maybe.
Oh yeah.
So then, okay, well, I'm really excited to see what happens with the prom thing. At the same time, I hope that it's not like a repeat of the Christmas party. Or even worse, of the school festival. There's some different elements that happen this time. The conflict might be a bit more unique. But after that happened, we got to see just one more part of the confrontation with Haru and what happened afterwards with Yui helping Yukino pack for Yukino's eventual trip to go see her mom. And remind me, guys, again, what happened there?
basically Yui and Yukino were just gathering up clothes, and Yui's just taking stuff off a rack. He's like, "Are you gonna take this one?" He's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that one." And then Yukino gets a phone call from Haruno, probably from out, like shortly after she gets done talking with Hachiman down on the sidewalk. And when she leaves, Yui's just kind of looking around the room, all kind of happy and everything. And she sees the little panda, and she's like, "Oh yeah, little panda, pick it up. I remember this." And then she finds the envelope with the picture from the roller coaster ride from season 2 that Yukino and Hachiman had taken. And she basically kind of breaks down because she's like, "Oh yeah, she definitely does have feelings for Hachiman."
Yep.
And
that's right.
Yeah, she has feelings for Hachiman. It's like she was hiding it behind a stuffed animal on her bed. So yeah, that's pretty clear.
Kill me.
And Yui just kind of comes to the conclusion, it's like, in the end, I didn't want something genuine. And I kind of get the feeling that it's because she's like, okay, these two have the potential that they're going to maybe get a further relationship than what they already have. Whereas Yui's whole thing has been trying to keep this group together, which was what the kind of the end of season 2 was, kind of having Yui trying to push for. And right. She's just kind of, I guess, realizing is like maybe she's not going to have a place in the group almost, I guess.
That's probably
I think she might be afraid that she just becomes a third wheel again, like her previous group.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's not going to be the same group dynamic, because she already in like season 1, she already said that it was hard to try and jump in on the conversation between Hachiman and Yukino, just because they have a somewhat similar personality and they're, I guess, almost brutally honest with each other.
Yeah.
In a way that she never could be.
Yeah.
So that's basically the long and short of what I was taking away from that.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you there. You know, I think that Yui is just slowly coming to realize that, you know, things aren't going to stay the same, even though she has tried her hardest to keep the status quo in their friend circle, and that is what she aimed to do with the ending of season 2, and that's why Hikigaya kind of felt in his gut in that moment, this is wrong. I just have always felt like Yui and Hikigaya were a better couple that were meant to get together than Yukino and Hikigaya. Those two, which were more like opposite sides of a coin, and that they could have a respectful relationship with one another, they could be friends. And seeing that Yukino wants more between the two of them, I'm not even sure where that's coming from. I'm not even sure how I can see it. Like, why would she feel like that? I know that it's understandable that she would want to be friends with Hikigaya and Yui, and that she wants to open up to both of them more, and that she definitely wants somebody to save her, and how Hikigaya always tends to be the one who picks up the hard problems and, takes all of those responsibilities on his own 2 shoulders. So he is the type of person who would save her from her problems. But now that she's wants to do things on her own, he's not going to help her out as much, because he probably shouldn't. I just don't see where the romantic part is coming from. And I know that there's going to be a bunch of fans going to be mad at me for saying this. But personally, I just really like seeing Yui and Hikigaya together more. I like Yui's really spontaneous, poppy personality. And oh God, I've been sold on their relationship since 2013. I don't want to face the fact that it might not happen. Yeah, God damn it. Every anime I ever watched where clearly there is a main girl, and I don't want to think that's the case with this show, but the main girl always gets with the guy. I'm not going to name off examples because that'd be spoilers for other shows, but there are a big handful of rom-coms and dramas out there that have stabbed me in the back because of this. I have sunk on so many ships, I refuse to sink on one more unless it has SS Iroha on it. That I'm okay with. But Yui and Hikigaya, God, no, don't let that go.
No, Andrew, you're missing the true ship here.
What is
We're
that?
missing the Totsuka ship.
Son of a bitch. Okay, maybe. Maybe. You know what? I would be okay with that too. I'd be fine with it. You know what? Totsuka is an amazing character, and I wish that he was around more. That is perfectly
Make me miso
fine.
soup every morning.
Oh cow! I was a much bigger Totsuka fan in season 1, for the record, just because we saw him more. If he was more prevalent, then I probably would be obsessed with him the most, more than Iroha. Oh, but God, anybody but Yukino.
He's the only one that Hachima has actually shown any oh my gosh, my heart is thumping right now.
Yes,
Put him in
It's just
Zaibakuza.
hilarious to watch.
The greatest trap we've seen so far.
I'll
He's
even
supposed to be in
take.
the next episode, right?
Wait, who's gonna be in the next episode?
I think Totsuka's gonna be involved in the next episode.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I would also like to see Totsuka just have more of an impact, because second season definitely felt like he was fading. And
He's just a gag character at this point.
Yeah,
he's just the guy character.
Yeah, and I mean, he was present for one scene with Hikigaya when they ate at that restaurant in second season, and he briefly asked Hikigaya what was wrong, but nothing substantial worth mentioning came out of it, which made me sad. Probably could have just skipped that whole scene and wouldn't have impacted the show.
Who knows? It might come back.
It might come back. You know, the other thing too is that we talked about this last podcast episode too, where there's so many secondary characters that clearly got development in the books. So I guess if you want Totsuka development as much as I do, go to Barnes and Noble, buy the unpressed copy. You know, I would have done that if I got to Barnes and Noble on time the other day, but I got there after they closed. So my wallet really hates me these days. So. Yeah, you know, I'm very biased in that I was upset to see that last scene. I'm just like, damn it, why would she have a photo of the two of them from that boat? That boat ride was a meaningful ride. It had a lot of context there. It grew both of their characters. But I'm just like, why? Why would you have that in your bed? Don't.
Why wouldn't she? It's her room.
Yeah, man.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
It's like you have pictures of your friends in your room. She won't admit it, but Hikigaya is her friend.
Yeah, that's true. So like they are friends by this point.
It's like they haven't admitted it.
Yukino wants something more. So I'm hoping that this doesn't push Yui into doing something that she knows she shouldn't do.
Oh, Yui's totally gonna be the friend that steps aside if she thinks she does.
Oh, dang it.
She's got those characteristics written all over her face. Literally, that's why she was saying, "Pretend you didn't see it. Pretend you didn't see it," because she knows that part of her thinks that she doesn't have a chance now because of that picture. Even though Hikigaya, he'll go either way. He doesn't really care.
Why the fuck would he not care? That son of a bitch.
Because he's not here for the love. He just wants to get through. He wanted to get through high school completely invisible.
This is painful. This is painful for me. Yeah. You guys are right. Yui would be the kind of character that steps aside because more than anything else, she just wants to keep her friendship with the both of them. She's willing to do anything. Second season definitely proved that about her. So it just makes me sad because at the same time in first season, she also made the, what would you call it? Conviction to go after what she wanted. When she was talking to Hikigaya at the festival while they were eating bread together. And I had hoped that would meant she wanted him. She wanted a relationship with him, so she was willing to go for it. But she also said at the end of second season that's not all she wants. She wants everything. She wants, she didn't directly say this, but she wants the status quo relationships with her friends in this club. She's always wanted to keep the club the way it was, didn't want that to change. And she also gave Hikigai the cookies, so at the same time she wanted to get closer to him. A little contradictory, but maybe that desire is even enough to convince her to step aside when she sees that Yukino wants to be with Hikigai as well. It's enough to sabotage her. And that's tragic to me. That's absolutely tragic. I don't think she should do it. I don't even see how a relationship between Yukino and Hikigai could work, but
no one cares about the aftermath. We just care about the...
I care.
I don't know. Am I the only one that can actually see that working out?
No, I totally see it.
Yeah.
It's like, I know how fiction writing works, and this is...
Like, if we're on those kind of boats and trains and everything, I've been just writing the Yukino one for a while now. It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be how this works.
I don't know you people anymore.
No, see, I'm in the boat of OT3. Dan OT3, the polygamy play is still a go.
We talked about this last time too. That I'm cool with that as well. Polygamy could work. Yui would definitely be on board for it. Maybe Yukino would be on board. I don't know. The photo definitely makes me less hopeful about that situation now.
Hey, the photo was to commemorate
I don't know any of you now.
Conquering her fears.
Oh, come on, Spencer. You've watched horror anime before too. Don't deny this. This is a possibility. It's anime.
Oh, I've watched harem anime.
Most of them,
but it's never been a case where it's like, oh yeah, all of them. That makes sense.
Wait. We're not talking about Kawasaki and Hikigai though. We gotta boost that. Come on. We all like Kawasaki, right? We're all very familiar with her character. We've seen plenty of her in the show. She's had so much development. Come on.
Yeah, like that one time.
Yeah.
And that other time.
Yeah, so much on-screen presence. Come on. Okay, so yeah, no, that makes me a little bit worried. Like we said before, there's probably going to be a time skip where Yukino is going to leave and then come back, so we'll see how that changes things. But I'm hopeful that this time she'll basically tell her mom off and say, like, I'm going to make my own decisions. You can't stop me. You know, you did this with my older sister. You're not doing it with me. And we'll see how that goes. But at the same time, we haven't seen how truly scary their mom can be. Apparently, their mom is just a force to be reckoned with. So
she seems like a dragon lady, so here we go.
Oh, yeah, totally a dragon lady. So that's the whole episode in a nutshell, really. Guys, do you have any other thoughts? Anything else that you want to discuss about this episode or the next episode before we take today's episode to a close?
No, I think that about covers everything.
I just want to remark that I'm pretty excited to see how the prom's going to work out. It's like the opening is basically shown what the dresses are going to look like, and I'm excited to see that prom. I like dances.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and maybe that's partially what the opening to the third season is like supposed to show a bit of. Like,
I mean, it seemed like it. The preview for the next episode had both Yui and Yukino dressed up in the same outfits from the opening.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
I'm really excited to see if Yukino's going to pull off the tuxedo look, because it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. I think that she rocks it pretty well in the opening.
All right, votes for prom king and queen. Let's go.
Oh, Iroha for prom queen. Obviously, you got my vote there.
Clearly Iroha for prom queen.
And
she wants it so much.
Guys, she's a freshman. She can't go.
I don't give a shit. This is Japan. They're not even supposed to have proms in the first place, so we're already twisting some rules here. So she gets to be prom queen. That's my vote. I'm going to toss that out there. I don't care if it's the throwaway vote. It's the vote that I believe in. It's the vote I'm proud of. And then Hikigai for prom king, because he deserves it in every sense of the word.
Like, somehow I feel like Hikigai is going to win it, even though it makes zero sense in the school sense. But I'm saying
it makes absolutely zero sense.
But Yukino's totally gonna get prom queen. Iroha's gonna make it so.
Yeah, that could probably happen. I mean, this whole season is pretty much about Yukino and her character development, so I could see that happening.
It's like, that's why she wants to do it now. She needs to make sure Yukino gets the chance.
Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe Iroha is being so adamant about doing it now because she knows that the 3 service club members are all going to be busy studying for college the following year. So they won't be able to participate in something like a potential prom. So that could also be it. Like, most anime characters we see in high school, we rarely see them in 3rd year. It's always 1st or 2nd year when they apparently have more free time. Okay. Well, then, this has been awesome. No, I think we dissected the episode pretty well, and hopefully 3rd episode we get to see more of the prom planning and other things too. Do you guys want to wrap this up then?
Yep. Yeah, let's cut it out.
Okay, cool. Then thanks everybody for listening to our podcast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Spencer.
And we will see you all next time.
Later days.